Good morning, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Degenerate Disseminators podcast. I'm your host, Jordan, and we do once again have Daniel in the building with us today.
Hey guys.
Um, yeah, not a good start to the month. No other way to put it. Uh, the four plays out, and we get shut out again. Um, yeah, I really don't know. Um, we had one UFC bet, MVP versus Shar Magomedov. Did not, or it did end up going the distance. But you know how UFC bets go, so I'm not really too upset about that one. Although MVP did land some very big strikes in that fight. Looked like he could have put him away at some point, but didn't happen. Lightning -1.5. The Islanders win outright, but it's okay because the Florida Panthers pooped all over them today, so it's all good.
Fuck the Islanders.
um,
Boring
Pacers.
ass team.
Pacers -7.5. They go up 16 in the first half against the Hawks. And I think I talked too bad about Trae Young because he ended up taking over a little bit. And the Pacers win by 5, I believe. So didn't cover there. And then Anthony Edwards is still a domestic terrorist. He decides to sit out of this game super last minute. Um, I did see a line change on Hard Rock, and immediately my thoughts went to, oh, Anthony Edwards must not be playing. I'm taking my money out. Went to ESPN and still said game time decision. Said game time decision until the game started. So, uh, yeah, not really cool there. But moving forward, I am gonna uh, be a lot more cautious of these game time decisions and really keep an eye on them if I'm able to. But yeah, we go down 4 units to start the month. Not a good start, but we have 3 more picks coming out today. A little bit of a safer approach, I feel. And we'll try and get a little run going. So we have 2 NBA picks and 1 NHL. And per usual, guys, I'm gonna give the floor to Daniel to give his NHL pick to start things off.
All right, fellas. Coming in hot. Number one pick. The only NHL game of the day, actually. We are taking the Ottawa Senators money line for plus 110, I believe. Yep.
Yes.
Um, so this is kind of a crazy bet. I don't think the Senators should be underdogged for this game. I mean, obviously, Nashville sucks. I mean, right now, they have a lot of talent on their team. They're pretty. I mean, the roster's really solid as far as names go, but on the ice, they haven't really been able to put it together. Defense is lacking, offense is lacking. I mean, they don't have very much physicality either, which, um, in all those things, I think the Senators are better than the Met. They have a better offense. Um, they have a better defense. They play more physical. They have more depth to their squad. I mean, even their goaltending, which honestly, Linus Olmark was a really good catch over the break. I mean, and also what's his name, Maralainen as well, gets called up from the AHL just to post 3 shutouts, have a .925 and a 1.99 goals against average with in 11 games. So I mean, and just pretty much every dimension of the sport, the Ottawa Senators are better than them. I mean, hockey, it can be weird. Sometimes these teams that are better on paper end up, getting crushed by these teams that are worse. But I really don't think for the Senators that that's going to happen. And the reason being is because they're fighting for their first playoff spot since 2017. So, they have it right now. They're in third in the Atlantic. But the Atlantic is a pretty tight race. Detroit is 1 point behind them in the number one wild card spot. So, I mean, well, actually, no. Tampa Bay is 2 points behind them in the Atlantic Division, at least. So, I mean, uh, yeah, I just don't see the Nashville Predators winning this game, like, at all, to be completely honest with you. So, I mean, that's really all I have to say about that game. As far as side bets go, we are taking Brady Kachuk over half a goal at plus 150. He's got 2 in his last 5. So not a, I want to say, not that great of a bet, I guess, but that's what I'm taking. And then Jake Sanderson over half an assist at plus 115. Actually, a good bet. He's got 6 in his last 5. So that's all I got. I'm going to swing the rock over to Jordan.
It's also in regards to that game. I also find it very interesting that the Senators at plus 1.5 is like minus 250 or something like that. I don't know. This is very odd. The
Yeah.
lines here
I
really
don't,
make
like,
no sense. And I believe you also said the Predators have dropped their last 4 games. I want to say. I think you said that earlier.
I think I said that to you in person
Yeah.
earlier. But yeah, the Predators are on a four four game loss streak, and the Senators are on a 4 game win streak. And also another thing to mention, the Senators beat them in December 3-1 on December 7th.
Nice.
So
Alrighty. Well,
yeah.
before we start talking about the NBA, or the picks at least, just wanted to touch up on the Luka Doncic situation.
Oh boy.
What the fuck? Um,
AD.
yeah. I, I, I mean, I think my friend was telling me earlier this is the first time like 2 All NBA players have been traded for each other. Like this is very odd. Um, but I guess we'll see how it goes. The Lakers and the Mavericks play pretty soon, actually, on February 25th. And you best believe if Luke is healthy and playing, we're slamming his over on everything. Um, yeah, they kind of did him dirty, I feel like. Um, but yeah, very interesting trade. Also important to note, there was a 3-team deal, and I forget the specifics of the third team, but De'Aaron Fox is going to Sacramento. Or sorry, he already plays for Sacramento, or played. He's going to the San Antonio Spurs, which I think is a very good pickup for them. And Zach LaVine is heading to the Kings. Um, Not really. I think the Spurs definitely win that trade. I don't really think Zach LaVine is gonna, uh, I don't know, be that big of a difference maker. But like I said, with the Doncic trade, we'll just have to wait and see. But anyways, guys, we're running back another teaser bet today. Last time we did this, we had a winning day, so I'm going back to it. But I think this first game I'm going to talk about is going to surprise a lot of you. We're actually looking at the Washington Wizards at the Charlotte Hornets. Very interesting game for me to talk about, given all the things I've said about these teams. But most important to note that this is the third meeting between these two, and the Wizards are actually up 2-0 on the season series. So 2 out of their 7 wins this season have come against the Hornets. And even more important to note that in both of these games, LaMelo Ball was playing and had very good performances. I want to say he dropped 30 in both. I know he did for one, but I want to say both. But I know, both games he played pretty solid. And the Wizards still won. Um, in those 2 games, the Wizards won by 9 points and 3 points. Uh, Given the success of these 2 teams this season, really hard to say how this game goes. The Hornets could win it. But so could the Wizards. I feel like also the Wizards that just beat the I'm messing up all around today. The Wizards that just beat the Minnesota Timberwolves on the road. No Anthony Edwards, but still important to note. But yeah, I see it staying competitive. Heavy quotation marks there, as it's really hard to be competitive from a viewership standpoint with these 2 teams involved. The Wizards are catching plus 4.5 points. It's not a bad bet. I think they could win this game, given that LaMelo Ball's not playing, and they have beaten the Wizards, oh my god, they have beaten the Hornets with him twice already this year. So to start off this little teaser bet, I'm bumping them up from plus 4.5 to plus 9.5 here. And next game we're looking at is the Indiana Pacers taking on the Utah Jazz. Kind of the same method as the last time we did this teaser parlay thing. Just these like really lower end teams here. But the Pacers are catching minus 6.5 points as favorites, which is very interesting because they caught 7.5 against Atlanta, which is obviously a better team than the Jazz. One would think. The Pacers, like I mentioned, didn't cover that game, but I think that game definitely highlighted some key holes in the Pacers' game plan here, and I really hope that these things have been fixed defensively. Even if they haven't, I just don't think the Jazz have the firepower with someone like Trae Young to kind of go in and take over. Um, but yeah, I don't think the -6.5 is a bad bet. But for a teaser bet, you gotta have a dance partner here. So I'm looking at this game. Um, I'm gonna knock the Pacers down from -6.5 to -2.5, and I think the Pacers do get it done here. Like I said, I think they fix themselves up a little bit because that they almost lost that Atlanta game at home. And also important to note, the Pacers have won 6 straight games on the road as well, so they're looking for their 7th one here to complete the teaser bet here. We're taking the Pacers -2.5, and then last bet of the night, we're giving a known domestic terrorist Anthony Edwards another chance to redeem himself here. He let us down by not playing against the Wizards, which is very unfortunate because on top of being a good player, I do like him a lot because he's a yeah he shows up and he balls out, and he didn't do that against the Wizards. So before I get into the logistics of this, I would only take this if Anthony Edwards is confirmed playing. Um, I mean, if you want to place it now and cash it out before game time, sure, go ahead. But definitely keep an eye out before the 8 p.m. Eastern tip-off time. Um, but yeah, moving into this game, like I just said, De'Aaron Fox has been shipped to San Antonio. And we kind of just saw this with the Mavericks against the, I think, who did they play? The Thunder? Was it the Thunder? No, the Cavaliers, sorry. Um, yeah, they were down 50 at halftime. So I think we see something similar here. Obviously, De'Aaron Fox is nowhere near the type of player Luka Doncic is, but still a very key role to the Kings' offense. And I do think that the Kings are going to start out very slow, missing their point guard here. So I'm looking at the first half spread here, actually, which we normally don't do on here. But I've been playing these kind of bets personally when we don't have episodes, and they've been doing all right. So we'll take a shot in the dark here, I guess. Um, uh, yeah, and on top of this game, like I said, the Timberwolves did just lose to the Washington Wizards at home. This game is at home again. If Anthony Edwards is playing, I think he's going to look to put on a show and kind of make up for that loss, so to speak. Um, but just in terms of against the spread in the first half for both teams in the last 10 games, the Timberwolves are 6-3-1, and the Kings are 2-8 ATS in the first half in their last 10. So, just from a number standpoint, the Timberwolves are much more likely to cover here, and I don't think 2.5 points is enough. I think it should be a lot higher. I think the Kings are only catching like +4.5 for the total game line. But like I said, I think they're gonna struggle here early without their point guard. So last pick of the night, guys. We're gonna be doing Wolves -2.5 in the first half, and that's gonna do it for me. Daniel, is there anything else you'd like to add?
Actually, I did forget to mention something.
Oh no.
I think
Oh no.
Olmark just got uh activated from LTIR, and Marilyn has been sent down to the AHL. So it's likely that Olmark starts tomorrow. And Anton Forsberg backs him up. So could be an interesting game. I think the Predators still lose, but I mean, yeah, that's it.
All right. And like I said, for this Timberwolves bet, please keep an eye on it. It's an 8 p.m. Eastern tip off. If you see any line changes on Hard Rock, just double check, look around for final lineups or anything. If Anthony Edwards is not playing, do not take this bet. I will cash it out and we will count it as a push. That's the plan. So please keep an eye on that. I will try and post on our Instagram at DD Sports Podcast if I find out. Just to let you guys know. But anyways, guys, we're gonna kick it into the recap here. First up on the night, we have the NBA teaser. Just in case if you guys forgot the picks, we're bumping the Wizards up to +9.5 against the Hornets, and the Pacers to -2.5 against the Jazz, and that's going to be for 1 unit, as those two legs make it even money. Senators money line against the Predators for 0.9 units, and the Timberwolves -2.5 first half spread for 1.1 units, which gives us a nice round 3 units in play on the day. Hopefully we can go 3-0 and start a little run here and erase this 4 unit deficit like it was nothing. But that is going to do it for us today, guys, and we will catch you guys later.
Shout out PK Subban.
Shout out PK Subban.